What's up, Jackson? How's everybody doing today? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? I hope your weekend was good. Everything's good on this end. We just easing along as usual on a Monday morning. You know, it's another hot one. Y'all try to stay cool and everything like that. Drink a lot of water, as as it said. But it's true. You want to stay hydrated and everything like that. It's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? Because so apartment is a apartment had that this was displaced because they didn't have no air. And people are saying people the police academies is helping out and student pod is helping out. With lodging people, things of that nature. And this this weather's well, where we are. We in the dog days of summer. So let's yeah, I mean, look, we can complain, but they do the same thing for when it's wintertime, when it's cold outside. They open up these centers where folks can get heat, where can stay warm and everything like that. I just hated that it's always crowded downtown at that men's shelter where folks be standing outside. I hate that. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? They need the big. They don't. Uh, there's no facility big enough. You know what I mean? It sucks. That sucks. I ain't even on front. That right there sucks. But anyway, yeah. So we we learning we learning this bad scripting, and we still hammering on it. I'm running into some hiccups. Ain't gonna lie. I know this ain't gonna be no cakewalk. I'm gonna tell you straight up. But one thing I do know, I do understand that with with anything that you're learning, you're gonna have to endure a lot of things, a lot of difficult things, and that's the time when you really have to lock in. You know, you gotta lock in and do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You can't allow one little hiccup stop you from moving forward what you got going on. You know. So, but like I said, it's coming out okay. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I just had to, I ran into some, I ran into some issues, but I'm working through them. I'm working through. But one thing I did find out that I'm totally mistaken on, that people used to say to me when I first lost my eyesight, they said, well, when one sense go out, another sense pick up, and I never subscribed to that. I didn't subscribe to that because, for what I was experiencing at that time, I'm like, nah, I just think that people just need to pay attention a little bit more, you know. But but the reason why I kind of changed it up a little bit because in this instance of what I'm doing, with this with learning how to program with my typing, I notice when I type things in, I remember it. I remember it. Back in the days, when I was a kid, my father and other people would say, when you write things down, you remember it, you know? And, and I was, you know, and I paid attention to it. And I did. That's something I did pay attention to. I did remember when I wrote things down, because I was lazy, you know what I'm saying, with writing things down because I tend to forget. But I noticed it when I did write it down, you know what I'm saying? So, but nevertheless, so when I lost my eyesight and I started learning how to type, I did remember things a lot better. So in that instance, yeah, that sense did pick up. But I still write, but I guess because I'm hearing, I have to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Being that when I type, I'm listening to the, so I'm listening to it, so my memory is picking up. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But, but nevertheless, it's, it's working out thus far, So, but yeah, but like I said, it ain't no cakewalk. It ain't no cakewalk, but let me tell you like this. With anything, you're going to have some difficulty. It's with difficult, and I don't care if you're trying to build a relationship, keep a relationship, you're gonna have some difficulty. You know what I'm saying? That's either with, I don't care what with your parents, with your mom, dad, whoever, or your guardian, or your child, or your significant other. You're trying to have a good relationship. You're gonna have some difficulties. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some difficulties. You know, not and it's never ever gonna be a case. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be peaches and cream. If it's peaches and cream, then there's something wrong with the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Good times and bad times is always. It has to balance. It has to balance out. You know. So, but like I said, and like I said, it's a lot going. It's a lot going on here. Here in the city of Jackson, but nevertheless, we just kind of. I just like I had I had came into uh I had a phone call the other day, and my dude called me up, and I and he had told me about his kid, whatever, what I'm saying, his kid had autism, things like that, and he told me about about situations that he was encountering with his with his child. And I told him, I said, bro, I said, you're gonna have to change. It's just like what I'm saying is, it's like when I lost my eyesight, it's just some things that I had to unlearn and relearn. And but what's funny thing about it is that the child was born with autism, so he didn't have to change anything. But I told him that him and his wife, y'all gonna have to change. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to change. It's not about him. It's about you. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's the way. But that's the way life be sometimes. That's the way life be sometimes. But one thing I do know about when I lost my eyesight. You see who your folks is. You see who your people is. You know what I'm saying? Or you get broke. Or you go broke or something. You gonna see who your folks is. You get sick. You gonna see who your folks is. You gonna see. Trust me. I guarantee you that. And that's a shame. That's a shame. And you try to, or if you like run into, what is it? Oh my goodness gracious! It'll come to me. It just escaped me. But yeah, a lot of, I'm telling you, you're gonna see. You're gonna see. You're gonna see who your folks is, because they will. It's just like when you go into the kitchen. Back in the day, when you go into the kitchen, you got roast problems. Those sons, they not be eating nothing. They might be sitting there like they congregating. As soon as you turn on the light, they scatter. Oh, here he come. You know what I'm saying? And they scatter. Get sick. Or go broke. Or go broke. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got money, folks gonna come. I don't care if you got a little bit of money, $30,000, whatever. You came into a little $30,000 blessing, or you come into some type of financial some type of financial blessing. You're able to fix up your house. Get a bunch of TVs. Stuff that you don't need. And but the main thing is you fix up your house, you get your house straight and everything like that. People are watching. People are watching. And then they're gonna say, "Oh, there you go. Hey, he ringing in some bread. Let me go in and see what he got going on." You're throwing barbecues. You got people over there that you do mess with. People that come. People that you do mess with, that messes with you, then here they come. You're throwing parties for people that you do mess with. But then the people that you don't mess with, or don't mess with you, here they come. and acting like they're so happy to see you. You walk past here every day and you don't say a word to me. You don't say you drive by here every day and don't even blow. You know what I'm saying? You won't even ring my doorbell, see if I need a loaf of bread. And you know what my situation is. I'm not saying, I'm just using that as an example. How people are when things happen to you. And you've known them for years. It's like for me, for example. I can count on one hand how many folks that I knew sighted. Right? That's gonna ring my doorbell. It's 5 people on one hand that's gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of them, man, they won't even. I won't even get a phone call. They got my number, and a lot of them is family members. And a lot of them are family members. They know who they are. I guess they think that I'm gonna ask them for something, or they have to have something to offer me when they come. Not true. Not true. Made it this far. What's going on? What's really going on? So, but I don't worry about that. I don't worry about that because I know, for example, for a fact that, you know what I'm saying, what I have to offer in a relationship. You know, most of the people that I have relationships with now are folks I ain't never seen before. More than a handful. More than 3 hands full. Most of the people that I got in my contact list on my phone are people that I've never even seen before. Ever. Wouldn't know what they look like if they walked up to me and all my eyesight came back tomorrow. Unless I hear their voice. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, I know you are. You know? You see? So, that's the only thing. That's the only thing. You know? But I'm telling you, man, people, you gonna see who your people are. You know? You gonna see who your people are. You know, that's why, I kind of like, like with my friend, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people shy, they try to shy away from things, from really speaking the truth, but you can see it in their actions. You know what I'm saying? Like my friend, for example, I love him to death, yo. I swear, me and this cat, we've always had a relationship, always, even when we was in school. But he was telling me that, his kid, his child has his autism, and I'm quite sure he sees it, you know what I'm saying? But there is a certain apprehension that people have when people deal with the disabled. I'm telling you, when you become disabled, you're gonna see who your folks is. Oh, I'm saying if. I'm not saying when, but if. I don't mean to say when. I misspoke. But if you become disabled, I'm telling you, you're gonna see. You're gonna see who your folks is. You're gonna see who your folks is. Get broke. Or get sick. Telling you. I'm telling you, people have a certain level of tolerance. You know what I'm saying? People have a certain level of tolerance. And I'm like, for me, look, like I tell people this all the time. If you can't accept me for the way I am, you don't even need to come to my house. Deuces. See right there? It don't get no wider than that. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna keep it a buck. one thing I commend. I heard a fella on SPC University. This guy, Yusuf, he talks about. He said in one of his videos, several videos, when he started getting familiar with what he was doing. He said, because he was involved with with learning certain aspects of law and things of that nature. He said one thing about it. He said, I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to be afraid. For me, that clicked more with me with him than anything he spoke about, because that's what I said in my life. I done lost my parents 5 months apart. I done lost my child, and I lost my eyesight. No joke. Everything I'm telling you is facts. But one thing I said, experiencing the things, the difficulties of life, when I got into this difficulty of losing my eyesight, I said, I'm not finna be afraid, and I ain't finna waste my time. And I'm not finna let nobody waste my time. I'm not finna let nobody waste my time. I know what it was. I'm talking about doing business. You're gonna see who your folks is. When you're doing business with somebody, you're gonna see who your folks is. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. That's one of the ones that nobody pay attention to. Man, I'm telling you, I've listened to a lot of folk, but I'm gonna tell you straight up and straight down. If you have a business, I don't give a ding dong if you're selling water. You outside, you got your cooler, everything straight. You know what I'm saying? You selling water. Folks know what you got. It ain't about folks not knowing. They know what you got. See how many folks? I'm telling you, when you selling something, when you trying to do business, I don't care what kind of. I don't care if it's a product or a service. You're gonna see who your people are. You're gonna see who your people. They'll go to. For example, I notarize documents, right? Alright. Folks know I notarize documents. They ain't gonna pay me what I want. They is not gonna pay me what I want or what I'm asking for. It costs about $5 for the Jurat. That's in the state of Mississippi. But what it's gonna cost for my time and my energy? Alright. And then if I gotta run off a document for you, that's another cost. You honestly think people wanna pay me? It'll cost you $25 for one document. You think they wanna pay that? But that's what I'm trying to tell you, resident. Whatever you have, you're gonna see who people really are. They don't want to do business with you because they think that you're trying to get over. I'm not trying to get over on nobody. This is my time and my energy. That's worth something. It may not be worth nothing to you, but put yourself in my shoes. You're gonna want your bread too. You're gonna want to get paid too. This is a business. See, business is what separates relationships. Whether it's your significant other or it's in your family. Not even your family is gonna. I'm keeping it a buck here today. Not even your family is gonna come and do business with you. Do you think y'all? I got family members. Family. I'm a notary, right? Some of these folks got relative businesses. They indulge in other types of businesses that requires notary. Do you think they're gonna come see me? You think they're gonna give me a call? They got my phone number. No. No, and I don't expect them to. They're gonna go to somebody else. You know why? Because they don't want to pay me. I'm just gonna be real. Or maybe because they think because I can't see. I got this notary stuff on lock. I got it on lock. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. You understand what I'm saying? But that's just the way it is. But this is how you know who your people are. This is my whole point to this rant right here. Is because you know, I'm gonna land my plane in a minute. But this is how you know who your folks is. Even when you're doing business. When you're doing business, get sick. Or get broke. Them three things. Or get broke. Telling you. You go them three right there. You're gonna see who your folks is. I put being disabled is part of being sick in that same category. It's within that. You know what I'm saying? Well, but no. I'll just say because when you're sick, you are disabled. You know what I'm saying? So when you're sick, you are disabled. But I'm telling you, I mean, you could be I'm telling you. Those three right there, you're gonna see who your folks is. You're gonna see who your folks is. But that business part, that's the elephant in the room with us black folk. That is the elephant in the room with us black folk. Because we won't support each other. And that's why we don't support each other. Because we have this, I don't know. I have no idea what you call it psychologically. I don't know what you call it. But it's like somebody from another race, and they don't necessarily have to be white folk. It could be an Indian, it could be whoever, from another race. Be a Chinaman, Chinese person, it could be a Japanese person, whoever. But if they have a business, they'll go to that person except for you. How the heck we gonna support each other? And then the first thing they holler, well, black folks don't stick together. You think? Why is it like that? I'm just keeping it a buck. Look, these echo chambers, they don't talk about that. I don't hear nothing about nobody talking about that. Man, please. I left my phone number in the Facebook groups for my, because I go like into the small businesses. You think I got a phone call for my credit repair? For my credit repair, but for my financial consulting business? No. I do fix credit. Yeah, I do. It's no, I know it's a flip because I don't like the word credit repair. You know what I'm saying? But I do consult with credit, and if depending on who you are and how serious you are, I will repair your credit reports. If there's something on your report that needs to be removed, you know what I'm saying? I will attempt to help you remove your credit, those items off your consumer reports, credit reports, interchangeably. But that's on they go onto my channel, Blind Intelligence, and we will and I'll go into that. you know. But my point is that will they support you? No. That's an elephant in the room. If I ain't talking, if I'm saying something negative or something like that, folks gonna engage. If I ask you to send me a like, send me a subscribe to the channel, you know what I'm saying? Put a $5 donation inside Foresight 718. FORESIGHT. Y'all think I'm trying to get over? People think I'm trying to get over. Never like that, bro. Ever. You know what I'm saying? That's, hey, what they say, you can't win for losing, but you can't. You can't. You know. But my plane landed on that. I had to really talk about that for a minute, Resident, because man, we as black folks got to do better. We ain't never gonna have nothing because we expect somebody to give us something. Why is that? The only thing that I would like somebody to give me is some support. Period. Support. And I'll take care of the rest. Just give me some support. Because I'm going to support you. I'm going to support you in whatever it is that you're doing. I'm going to participate. That's why I promised Ms. Sakia Summers that I would come here every day and post something on the 601 network, Real Jackson News. And that's what this is for. This is for the community. This is for you. You know what I'm saying? I want you to move about in the community safely. But anyway. Plane landed. So they had like a little thing over at the police academy yesterday. Said everything went well and everything like that. They have like a book bag giveaways and stuff like that for the children going back to school, because you know next week they go back to school on Wednesday next week. You know, which that's a wonderful thing. You know what I'm saying? I think and they had a lot of events going on, around town, according to Channel 16, whatever the case may be. But I'm glad that people had gotten out and been able to do something for their children, and moving forward, in their lives. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, kids, man, I'll tell you, I heard somebody say it, which is true. I've been saying it. I've been saying it when I was a kid. I've been saying it when I was a young adult. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it now as an older man. When a child looks good, they feel good. You're not finna send me to school raggedy. Everybody sitting there pointing and laughing, bro. How am I feel good about myself? Or you feeling you dress me up the way you want to dress me up? Man, I'll never forget, man. One day I went to school. Mama sent me to school. She went down. I ain't gonna lie. She sent me. I'll never forget. I had got these. She had bought me these slacks, and they needed to be hemmed. So she put them in the cleaners, and I mean the pants was 10. She went and bought me these. I'll never forget. My mother bought me these sky blue nurse shoes. Looked like nurse shoes, but they had these rubber soles on them, and they was the ugliest shoes I ever wore in my life. Y'all, I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep. This is like, because it ties into school, man. I got laughed at from 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I swear, I got laughed at so bad. I didn't even want to walk out to change classes. In elementary school, you still change classes. Sometimes you had to go to like to music or whatever, or I had to go maybe take a reading class, or I had to go to maybe to lunch, or I had to go to gym or something like that. think it was assembly day. I think that's what it was. It was assembly. And we had to go to assembly. And you know everybody is in assembly in the auditorium. Everybody. Man, growing up in New York is growing up in New York is a hey, it's a whistle. It was hard, I ain't gonna lie. It's like words. Hard. It was hard. It was like words. It's hard. It was hard growing up in New York. Yo, man, from the upper graders to the lower graders, even the kindergartens was laughing at my shoes. Pointing and laughing. Literally, pointing and laughing. Cracking up. Turning around, doing a 180, looking at their friends. Man, I'm like, I was like, I just looked up at this guy and looked around. I'm like, and I just said, but I was dressed nice though that day. I had a tie on. I had my slacks was 10-10. They was him. I mean, they was him. Dope. But it was just some new shoes my mama got. She gave me some blue shoes. I'm like, when I got home, I took them shoes off and I threw them as far as I can across the room and walked into the kitchen, and that's when I started to cry. And I started crying. And I never wore them shoes ever again. My mother knew then. She said, "What's wrong?" I ain't even say nothing to her. I was so mad with my mother that day. I was mad. Because I didn't want to wear them that morning. I did not want to wear those shoes. Honestly, I did not want to wear them. So that's what I'm saying. When a child looks good, they feel good. A child knows whatever they putting on, whatever it is they're going to put on, they know they're going to get laughed at or not. If they know it's dope, they know they're not going to get laughed at. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. It didn't start for me. All that stuff didn't start. I didn't start getting better at that stuff as far as dressing and stuff till I got into high school. Because what I did was, I'm going to be real, I didn't know how to put nothing together. I just watched the other kids and looked at how they put their stuff together. And I started picking out certain things. You know what I'm saying? I said, oh yeah, I seen that before. That works with that. Boom, boom, boom. And that's when I went to school, I was like, if they didn't laugh at them, I knew they wasn't gonna laugh at me because I'm wearing the same thing they wearing. You know what I'm saying? Or something similar to it in that particular way. You know what I'm saying? So, hey. So going to school is hard, man. It's like work, it's hard. You know? You have some easy ones and some bad ones and some hard ones. You know? Going to school is like words. It's hard. But once you get it figured out, you got it figured out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm glad everything, you know what I'm saying? I hope that those students, whether you're in college, whether you're in high school, whether you're in junior high school, whether you're in elementary school, whatever, pre-K, whatever, I hope you go and hope this be a great year for you. I hope this be a great year for you as a parent. You know, getting your child ready for those difficult times. You know, it's very important that you guys get, you know, because you guys get, I'm going as a parent, you guys gotta deal with whatever comes with your children when they're in school, because it's a new experience for them. It's a new experience for your children. So you guys got to get yourselves in gear. And I know that's not easy. I do, because it's a new experience for you as a parent. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got a new 6th grader or 7th grader, whatever the case may be, a 6th grader going to junior high school, or you got, you know, say, or you got new 9th grader going to high school, or whatever the case may be. You know, your kid, so you're new to this just like they are. Even if you have older children, but you're new to the experiences of that child. You didn't experience something that happened with your older child, but these are new experiences, and you got to deal with them because they're not going to be the same. That child is not going to experience the same. He's not going to have the same experiences your older child did. So it's a new experience for you too as a parent. So good luck to you. Good luck to you in your new experiences with your children. You know what I'm saying? And I hope everything well. That's it for me. Hey, I'm Raphael Berg, and this is the 601 Network. This is Real Jackson News. Have a good day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.